race. The second is the tire companies. Well, Firestone runs in second place right now. Wide open competition. 6 cars run right now on the lead lap with some interesting names like Guzman, Johansson, and Paul Tracy. And then the weather. Well, it's still sunny. 77 degrees, may even get hotter. And Arie Luyendyk, that stall in the pits may have been very costly for him. We'll continue to track these stories today. We've had 2 caution periods. As Paul Tracy right there behind Michael Andretti, of course, not in contest on the course. This could be Michael's year. The first time he's ever driven here without his dad.
That was bad for Paul Tracy, though, because he just got put down that lap that he didn't want to get put down, Paul.
Robbie Gordon is into the pits. He has not been a factor. He came into the pits running in 17th. There's a new camera position for us at the end of the front straightaway. Great shot where you can see everybody coming down. We'll listen for a second and see if we can hear Gordon and Walker on two-way now.
Coming out of the pits, going on to the back straightaway.
Apparently everything nice and smooth. No two-way communications between the two, as assuming that all of those radios are properly operating. Remember the concern at the start of the race.
Robbie Gordon's got to be an awful sad driver right now. I think himself and plus a lot of people.
You see the white on his tires. Those are the stickers. Did we hear something from him?
Yes, we did hear something. Didn't come in clear, Stan, but I started to say they've got to be really upset over this because he was one of the favorites to win this race.
So it's a game.
We got a race car, boys. This thing is fast. We're going to need to be. We've got to catch up with Michael. He's about 12 seconds ahead of you, so hustle it all the way. Michael's coming in the pits, it looks like. Hustle it all the way.
Leader of the race, lap 65, Michael Andretti, in for his second pit stop of the day. 18 seconds back as he headed for the pits with Scott Goodyear. Let's go to Gary.
Tim Bumps bangs that right front wheel and goes to work with a wheel gun. They made a wing change on the last time. They're still staying with that primary Goodyear tire. They haven't gone to the option. They like the way the car's handling. No change at the front of the car, just waiting to complete the refueling. He's gone. One turn.
Looked all routine for Michael on the 66th lap. Goodyear took over the lead of the race. Guzman is now second. You're on board with the leader, Scott Goodyear.
Another thing about that Scott Goodyear tire car that we're talking about or looking at there, just believe that engine, when they want to go fast with it, turns 14,500 RPM. Amazing.
Paul Tracy was running in 9th. There's Andre Ribeiro coming in. And there's Scott Goodyear in, the leader of the race, 24 car.
Now let's see if they make any wing adjustments to their cars. Being very careful not to violate the speed limit there. Stop and go penalty here is really serious.
Let's go to Jack.
So far, gentlemen, they have made no chassis adjustments to this car. Now they're going to change to one full turn in the right side wing in 14.9. But the most incredible fact is when you start to log in pit stops, the car that is having the worst fuel economy, Arie Luyendyk in the V6 Menard. The best is the Honda, Gary Gerald.
Jack, we saw no changes on Michael Andretti's stop, but for his teammate Paul Tracy, who's been battling his way forward in the field, they went up one full turn on the right front wing. We'll see if his car handles any better now.
And again, that right front wing going up on it is to make the front end hold better. I keep telling people so they can follow the adjustments of the cars.
With that Scott Goodyear stop, Mauricio Guzman becomes the 153rd driver to lead at Indianapolis.
Winning a championship's a tough deal. You got to win it real bad. And when you want it about as bad as you can, you better go out and get yourself some Goodyear Eagle tires. Because no matter how bad you want it, without Goodyear, you ain't gonna get it.
Goodyear, #1 in racing, #1 in tires.
They wanted me to wear a tux for this commercial, but like I told them, legends can wear anything they want.
The 79th running of the Indianapolis 500 on ABC's Wide World of Sports. Brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft, making the world a very cool place. Valvoline, the #1 choice of America's top mechanics. And Goodyear, #1 in tires.
Back at Indianapolis, Mauricio Gugelmin is the leader of the race, the Brazilian. He made his last and only pit stop on lap 42. He should be due in shortly, but now he adds his name to race leaders at Indianapolis. Bobby Rahal was running back just out of the top 10 when he came in for what should have been a routine stop, watching the pit speed limit, looking to find his pit here, and this happened. Oh, wrong pit.
Well, that was a costly mistake for him. Now he's got to go slow, completely to the pits, get out of the racetrack, get back up to speed, and still do this again. So that was costly.
So while we watch the leader, Mauricio Gugelmin, we have an official update on Stan Fox. He is still unconscious. He is at Methodist Hospital of Indiana. The report is he has a closed head injury, and he is in surgery. Now, Jerry Punch, a closed head injury. What are we talking about?
Paul, that's sort of a generic term that goes everything from goes all the way from a mild concussion to a more serious injury involving a bleed into or on the surface of the brain. Now, you got to believe if he's gone to surgery, it's more toward the more severe degree, and we'll try to get a further update from the hospital on Stan Fox. Jerry
Bunch, of course, is a medical doctor, can help us with some of those things. Stan Fox is listed in serious condition at Methodist Hospital of Indiana. Now, after the race, we zoom off to the Lone Star State for the final 9 holes of the JCPenney LPGA skins game. Laura Davies has won 5 skins for $100,000, but Patty Sheehan leads the way with $110,000 after winning 4 skins. Only 9 skins remain. That's today at 3:30, 2:30 Central Time, right here on ABC Sports. Now, while we have a Brazilian in the lead, you can imagine how crazy they're going in Brazil. Let's listen in on the Brazilian television coverage.
Eu vi várias vezes, inclusive eu estava junto com o Roger e a gente tocou o replay para ver o que aconteceu. Realmente ele perdeu a aderência da traseira. Eu acho que ele estava muito baixo na curva e deu o que a gente chama de overcorrect. Ele corrigiu o carro demais. O carro virou praticamente a 90 graus contra o muro e bateu um impacto violento. Realmente foi terrível o impacto.
Como é que acontece, Emerson? Eu nunca vi aquela imagem depois de 92, quando a segurança na Indy aumentou muito. Aquela imagem da parte da frente do carro sair e ficar com as pernas praticamente, vamos colocar.
So with Emerson Fittipaldi as the analyst, in Portuguese, the transmission down to Brazil. Announcers are, by the way, with us throughout the year. Some fairly fun guys, too.
Remember that Mauricio is a big hero down in Brazil. He appears in ads for, I think, poultry stuff, the chicken business. His father's a timber merchant and an antique dealer. He's been famous down there for a long time.
Michael Andretti makes his move as Gugelmin heads for the pits, and Michael Andretti goes for the lead of the race once again. Mauricio Gugelmin makes his second stop of the day, and Michael Andretti assumes the lead. He was closing quickly on Gugelmin as he slowed down, and then Andretti came into the pits as well. Now, Andretti last made a stop just 10 laps ago, so this stop for Andretti is not routine. Gugelmin's stop is. Here's the Andretti stop. We're under the green. Michael, when Gugelmin slowed down, you saw him get out a little bit there, and he reported that he touched the wall, so he headed right down into the pits.
That won't make Michael too happy. He's going to be screaming about that, saying that Gugelmin caused him to do that. And I don't know which side is right on that one.
Remember at Miami earlier in the year when Michael rode for several laps after contact with the wall and another car? Here's Michael in the pits still.
They're really looking it over.
Obviously.
Jack Villeneuve comes into the pits. Of course, he has not been a factor since that 2-lap penalty. He dropped down to 27th, now runs 19th as he came in on this stop. They're still working on Michael's car.
He's obviously told him that it didn't feel good after he touched the wall. Of course, we don't know exactly how hard he hit the wall, but it meant something because Michael has a super good feel for things like that.
Villeneuve back into the fight. The terrible Andretti luck. Michael Andretti climbs out. Many thought this was his best chance ever. And Michael Andretti's out of the car.
I think this is sad for everybody. I mean, you just really know. He's really controlled this race, really been quick, and we all thought he might win this one.
He was driving just the kind of conservative race.
Let's go to Gary.
Michael Andretti has come over the wall. We believe that it was a rear wishbone. We have the video contact where he was trying to get around, we believe, Gugelmin, and apparently got the rear up there. They believe it's a bent suspension. As soon as he gets the helmet off, he's huddled with Tim Bumps, his crew chief, his engineer, Peter Gibbons, his wife, Sandy, is there, and we'll try to get a comment. Boy, we thought maybe the Andretti jinx would be passed, but apparently that's not the case, Paul.
Let's take a look at that replay. Maybe we can see exactly what happened to Michael. I'm sure that's what he's waiting for, as no, we've got another car in trouble.
Looks like
and the yellow comes out.
Sharp.
Yep. Now here is Michael Andretti. Yeah, that's not a brush. That's a solid hit. So as we come back to live coverage, that is Scott Sharp that you saw just get into the wall just before we ran Michael's replay for you, and the yellow light is out. This is the third caution period of the day. Scott Sharp obviously okay. His rescuers are right there. Let's go back to Gary Gerald.
The helmet has come off, and Michael, I don't know what to say. Every race this year you've been a leader. What happened in this situation?
I guess Maurizio was coming into the pits because he slowed down, and I had to run, and I went to the outside because I didn't want to hit him, and it's like ice, and I hit the wall.
How had the car been performing up to that point?
Beautiful. Best I've ever had here. The car was great.
Was this your best chance to win the 500?
It was one of them. One of them.
The story in the eyes tell you so much.
That's what happened when a car gets out of the groove. Now you can watch right here. He's coming out. He's out of the black, what we call the groove. He's in the gray. The car just doesn't have as much adhesion. His tires probably aren't very new, and boom, look at the right front. Hit the wall fairly hard, even though it didn't bend anything that's obvious to us.
All right, now, here's another view. That's Gugelmin as he was trying to... Now, actually, Gugelmin was way down low there, and there you saw Michael as he came up, brushed the wall, hit it hard enough to do damage and to take him out of the race.
But what happens in a deal like that, Paul, is that shot really started way back in the short chute because of the speeds that we have. So Michael got out into the gray and just couldn't get it back down into the black.
What all this does is give Scott Goodyear the lead, moves Gugelmin to second, and Paul Tracy to third. This was Scott Sharp's situation. Same place on the track coming off of the fourth turn.
You know, that could also mean that there's some fluids down there, Paul. We should think about that, too. You know, a little water, oil spillage that you can't see.
Well, you heard Michael say it was very, very slick there. You saw that Scott Sharp was okay. But we'll keep an eye on that section of the track as the United States Auto Club officials are. And we're under the third yellow, the third caution period of the day with Goodyear as the leader.